There are 3 E's of making, well, I call them the 3 E's of efficient urban management. So there's engineering, enforcement, and education. Yes. But I think it's engineering, education, and enforcement. So engineering is the hardware, education is the software, enforcement is the sort of the consequence of, if you engineer properly, your drains will be covered, there will be better planning. So engineering is everything you do on the hardware side. And then education is everything on the software side. So skits, plays, songs, drama, education, interviews, let people know, repeat basically keep prompting people, right? Keep prompting people for good behavior, because it's a behavioral aspect of urban sanitation. Then, of course, there's enforcement, sanitation, police, MTTD, and all those people. So it's quite clear we're filling in all 3. I have some experiences to read on the program. All right, let's read a few comments on the vexed issue of filth in our cities. Here's one. It says, Bernard, good morning. Please, the last time Sophie was on your studio on this same issue, she was being dishonest with the facts. I'm registered with Zoom Lion, and the least said about their service, the better. Another one. Good morning.
Morning.
What the bus stop boys have shown us is that once we pay young people very well, they are willing to do cleaning jobs. Another one says, Bernard, good morning. Asadu Waste Management is responsible for picking up waste from my neighborhood once a week for about 100 cedis a month. But they come once a month. Imagine the pile of garbage we have to deal with. And if you call them to zero customer service, MFA Community 25. So our MFA is calling out Asadu Waste Management. Sky, read more for me.
So this morning, Alibia King says that, good morning, Bernard and team. Your colleagues are saying, what their colleagues are saying about the sanitation situation is very true. Just go around and keep your eyes on the road. You see what is happening. This one says that, good morning, team. The Sanitation Ministry, the Ministry of Local Government, Environmental Health Officers, EPA, Assembly members, we, the citizens that keep compounding the filth issue, are part of the problem. We need enforcement of the laws on our books. They have all failed at dealing with the sanitation menace. And the level of filth in the city is just a statement of that failure. It's coming in from Albert. This one says that cattle all over the place in Tema 2. There is now a permanent place at the Tema roundabout under the footbridge where they go to graze. It's coming in from Yao in La Paz. Bernard, the Pone landfill site is still in operation. One was decommissioned and an old one just opposite the new GPHA terminal was reopened. The whole enclave and the Pone township, those places are in a mess with filth and stench all over. It's coming in from Kofi in Tema. Smells, you know. Jonathan from Teshi says, too much weed in the median of our roads, causing so much nuisance everywhere. The case is not different at all in Teshi Ebenezer Junction, not far from the Lekma Hospital. It's causing accidents almost every month. Every day, every month. Our city authorities must know that what they see in other countries is carpet grass and not Achimota mini forest. It's coming in from Jonathan and Teshi.
Send us a voice note on these matters, especially as it pertains to refuse collection. We are happy to hear from you. 054-998-6996. Send a WhatsApp voice note, because Godfred is talking about filth, urban management, enforcement, engineering, education. Sky, more
Somebody says that Bernard Godfred is suffering from or is experiencing cultural shock upon Accra is generally dirty. The median between Atomic and UPSA Junction holds a family. Oh, really? A man together with his wife and child. They live under the trees in the median. They do their cooking and washing there. It's quite something to see. It's coming in from business scientists. This one says, Bernard and team, please Do you recall the 9 rules Nathan brought from Tokyo? Yes, I was drawing his attention a short while ago.
Maybe you
Please
should repeat them.
use your platform to hit or echo these rules for just this week. It's coming from.
I have a very funny message here.
Tell
There's
me.
a friend of mine, said, Lawyer says Koku.
Yes.
You see the numbers I have saved for Zoom Lion on my phone.
You sent your screenshot?
I always try to reach them by whatever means and number. You never get a response. I just left them. Now he saved Andrew Zoom Lion, Andy Zoom Lion, Selassie Zoom Lion, Zoom Lion, new guy,
Zoom Lion, old guy.
Doris Revenue Zoom Lion. Then he has Kure Zoom Lion, and then he has Zoom Lion Inquiries. So he has
6 numbers.
1, 2, 3, 7. So Andrew Zoom Lion, Andy Zoom Lion, Selassie Zoom Lion, Zoom Lion new guy, Doris Revenue, Kure Zoom Lion, and Zoom Lion Inquiries.
Because he's never found a baller. Look at this.
The system at that level is not even working. Just one line, call somebody will direct somebody to come and solve them.
So he has 7 Zoom Lion numbers, and still that's not they work. So he left them.
But okay, Sky hasn't finished. So
Okay, better.
Yes.
And a supposed vision to make Accra the cleanest city in Africa is an eyesore to see children from other countries, some of whom seem to be less than 2 years and shabbily clothed, dangerously begging along our roads, with their mothers having made the medians or sides of the road their abode. These situations persist with careless abandon by the authorities as if there is no government in place. This must be addressed immediately.
But in addition to
sending
this,
that in from New
in addition to this, is how frequently you find mentally deranged people walking freely on our streets. Some will just, they are not clothed at all, and they're just mentally ill. Sorry, and I feel like, but why? Because when I go to other cities, I deliberately try to find out
where they are.
Where there are no hawkers here. People are not. Are they not enterprising?
Where are the
mentally ill people on the street?
Is mental health. Even stray animals, we just leave them. We it looks like nobody governs the space. That's the issue.
Bernard, when you are traveling from Oxford by bus or by train to London, right?
Babylon by bus.
Charlie, you can see the sheep grazing in the fields.
Yeah, man.
Properly fenced off.
Yes, please.
Right? Even they themselves know that they don't have to go beyond.
You mean the man?
Yeah.
No, our sheep they want to cross road. Our sheep they want to cross road. Because our sheep they are hardcore.
Because, brother, you know why? Because they have.
But we are good when they see car, they jump. They don't want to even run. So they don't fear.
They are residents of the city too.
The sheep you see in UK, that are bad sheep. They don't understand that.
They don't hustle.
They are not hustling.
The Ghana sheep must fight to survive. The daily bread is not easy to find. The daily bread of a Ghana goat is not easy.
It's the hustler.
A few more comments before we wrap up this segment. Wait, let's.
And this one said, "Good morning, gentlemen. Good question. I got a question. Why was Henry Quartey silenced or stopped?
Oh, Charlie.
That's the root cause of our problem as a country. It's coming in from PK in Tema." And this one says, "Good morning."
Somebody to ask the Zoom Lion one. It's another friend. So he has Selassie Zoom Lion, Zoom Lion Collector, Zoom Lion East Boss, Zoom Lion Sadiq, and then Francis Zoom Lion. Every week you got somebody else. So this my friend, he has 6, and then that one has 7. So it's like it's a trend. So you call every day somebody else they pick.
Yeah, but why?
Maybe they want to trick you.
No, you see, because refuse collection is supposed to be very, very. It's routine. You know that on a Friday at this time they'll come and pick your refuse. You understand? But here, Alaska, if you send your refuse outside, that they'll come and pick it. You leave it there for 2 months.
So you have to call. So you mean you need a connection.
A connection.
So you have to call Francis.
And if that doesn't work, then Aboboya, which is why Sky mentioned, the system is not connected. It doesn't even look like there's a system. And
it's troubling. It's troubling.
And somebody was telling me, and the city authorities helped me with this one. Like even the city itself struggles with the compact track. Like the compactor, they don't own one.
The city itself.
The city itself
is owned by a private company.
Yes, So how does the city itself not own
But
one?
I thought under the garage program, they bought some equipment for the assemblies. Indeed, I remember Ohene Safo said, and he actually, when you go on the website, they actually bought waste management trucks for over 18 assemblies. And they gave it to them that in addition to whatever the companies do, they should do their own cleanup. So they were giving some. So maybe they don't have a compactor because compactor is a higher level, but they have basic. Look, people are not working.
Yes.
And people are getting away with it. Leadership is failing. That's the issue.
Yes.
If you come to your office and it's not swept, don't you think Mr. Adam has a question to answer?
Yes.
Because he's the head of admin. Somebody's administering Accra. What is he doing? Somebody's a DC, MC. What are they doing? Sanitation is the most basic thing. People are not working. People are not working. And leaders are getting away with their dereliction. That's the truth. You know, yes, we need to change behavior. We need education. But the truth is that at the bottom of every failure in society is a leadership failure. Let's not have any qualms about it.
I agree.
Right? Whether education, yes, I agree with people should not pour granite on the road, everything else. Those who, when they go to other countries, don't do that because there's better leadership of spaces. Yesterday, I was watching the U.S. Congress, and they were
grilling.
yes, they were.
Director
it was a hearing. They subpoenaed the director of the Secret Service, Cheadle. You know, as I watched it, I advised myself
Against.
You know, I said it will take us a long time because some people take themselves serious.
Yep.
Some people don't joke with public service. They said, and this was across parties, they said, you can't come and sit in front of us and be giving us evasive answers. We are the reps of the people. You should be sacked. And when they finished, they had a bipartisan resolution that the woman should be sacked.
Yes.
Because she was not answering the questions the American people wanted. But even not that. Sky, you see, Congress is House of Reps versus Senate. Senate has just 2 members per state. So Senate is high level. So you can say Congress, there are many districts. So they can be maybe 12 or 13 congressmen per state. So it's bigger. Even the lowest Congress person, before they ask a question, the questions are written. The person's premise for asking the question is grounded. The language is correct. And all is in the interest of the American people. The discourse was highly enlightening. And I was watching and said, even me, a journalist, some of the questions the people were asking, the way they even wrote the question, I was even looking at the way they structured their questions.
Foundation.
My brother, clearly the organization around one Congress person to ask a question is serious. The research. And I said, when will we get here? That some people take their parliament so serious that they, and I didn't see, Your Honor, Mr. Chairman, no, that, all, you know, when we go to parliament, all those fight, I didn't hear one procedural problem. I can say 95% of the time was spent dealing with the main issue, questioning the person. What any hearing in Ghana? Standing order. We don't even understand. Like we spend the whole time arguing over the procedure. Sky, the procedure was simple. I didn't even read the rules, but I knew what the rule was. They call Democrat, they call Republican. They call Democrat, they call Republican. Now, when you come, apparently there's a time I didn't know. So the guy will be, they won't say, I'm giving you 3 questions. I'm black, I'm giving you 2 questions. I'm giving you 5 questions. No. Nathan has the chance to grill the person, but Nathan has maybe 4 minutes. I don't know, whatever minute. He himself, in asking the questions, will say, my time is up. I yield. I never heard the chairman say, hey, you, I'll give you 2 questions. Keep quiet. Classification, I say, I didn't hear those things. Everybody had, I think there was some clock in front of them.
Yes.
So as soon as his time is, he will yield to the chairman. When he has something to tender, he will raise it up, and then they will say, is there any objection? No objection. They move on. They spent 95% of the time grilling the woman. And I said, when will we get there? This is the Secret Service. Oh. When was the last time when they even bring national security, they said this national security, so we shouldn't even put them on air. Secret Service is answering questions before Congress people and is live for the whole world to see. The whole world, though. You see, this is the thing. We are joking when we say we are practicing democracy and we are not accountable. Democracy without accountability is a hoax. I'm telling you, Sky. Yesterday, what I saw, I was humbled. You can criticize America for many things, though. They are ahead of us for a reason. They are serious with their work. They are very serious with their work. And the fact that Secret Service boss, Secret Service, can be grilled by Congress people. But Secret Service. Secret Service.
Let me.
And this is live on air for all of us to see, not just Americans, the whole world to see. No holds barred. And I said, when you see, we say we are doing democracy, but we are not. Many things came to my head. The quality of the person who holds themselves out, the system that raises that leader, the quality of their education, the way they even carry themselves, the level of detail they required in terms of bullets captured. What was the procedure? Was the procedure followed? Your relationship with local law enforcement. I mean, it was too good. And then they link it to broader issues of gun violence in the country and all these things. And I said, God, when? I nearly would have said, hey, so are we all in the same world? Were we all created the same? What is happening? In Ghana, we can't even have, I mean, you know, we need a drastic reorientation. Maybe find a way of increasing the quality of our leaders, put them in some machines where they come out different or something. Because at the rate that what I saw on TV yesterday and what I see here, I don't know. I don't know when we can catch up. Honestly.
Yeah, millennia.
Honestly, Nathan, you watched the hearing.
Yeah, let me just read you two quick portions of the statement that was put together by the leading Republican and Democrat person from the committee, James Comer and Jamie Raskin. Quote, in the middle of a presidential election, the committee and the American people demand serious institutional accountability and transparency that you are not providing. We call on you to resign as director as a first step to allowing new leadership to swiftly address this crisis and rebuild, and this is my favorite part of the statement, the trust of a truly concerned Congress and the American people. End quote.
And therefore, they said she should be sacked. Sky, you are a parliamentary correspondent before, so you know what I'm talking about. I think there are light years ahead of us, and I'm not exaggerating, because I argue that we don't understand the system we run. I don't think we understand the system well, which is why we spend all the time fighting about procedure. And I don't think the MPs take their work and themselves as seriously as these Congress people take themselves. If they ask a question you are not answering, they even get angry. Yeah. And I didn't see the chairman of the committee trying to shield anybody.
Stand here all the time.
You get it? They are there for the people. Here, which party is it from? Yeah. They don't even allow certain questions. Yeah. They don't even allow us to watch our leaders. Accountability is not at the basis of our society. Now, Sky, I always say this. Never trust a person who is not accountable. You are a man who has daughters. If your daughter is moving with a man who is not accountable, you will not be happy. You will not let them go to a church where there's no accountability, or an office where there's no accountability. Why should we have a democracy with no accountability? Why should our executive treat accountability as a nuisance? The head of the Secret Service says they have 36 customers. Customers means entities that they have to protect. They were talking about when the NATO conference happened. They had to make sure all world leaders at the NATO were protected, in addition to having other things happening. The budget on them is $3 billion. That's the amount IMF gave us. That's just for one institution. They have 8,000 employees. And the woman sat there and she was stone-faced, and they grilled the hell out of her. Forgive my French. We are not ready for democracy if we don't understand accountability. The level of rage among Congress members around her answers, and I compare that to what we do here. Why is refuse not collected? There's no accountability. You have a minister in charge of local government. All assemblies report to him. If he sees refuse not collected, he can recommend the firing of the DCE. Do you understand me? If there's accountability. Do you understand me? And it cascades. Mr. President. So if you're seeing a society where there's dysfunction, it's lack of leadership accountability. A leader must make sure there's accountability by being accountable themselves. What I saw yesterday on American television tells me that society values accountability. We don't. Because we protect our own and we cheer our politicians like we cheer Hearts and Kotoko. So if it is our side, it's okay. If it's the other side, Americans are also partisan, but on some things they don't deviate. Principle. You cannot, as head of Secret Service, come and stand before us and be evasive. You cannot tell us that because FBI is doing an investigation, they say you gave answers to media people. We are the Congress. How dare you sit in front of us and tell us you don't know? They were so upset, and it was holy anger. Of course, some were grandstanding, some were trying to make political statements, but at the end of the day, the decorum and the order and the civility and the seriousness is these people don't rule the world by chance. We are where we are by our own doing. We are not serious. We don't value accountability. People, they say you have to resign because your job as Secret Service is to make sure that what happened never happened. So saying it will never happen again is not enough. Here, buildings collapse. We go and sympathize with the people who have problems, and we go on with our lives. Nobody's held accountable. June 3, who was held accountable? Who is held accountable for anything? 7,600 people have died on our roads between January and June. Who is held accountable? We just read it and we say it's a problem. We must educate people. A democracy with no accountability is a sham. People must take responsibility. All our agencies want to be called authority. So now we have National Road Safety Authority, Ghana Revenue Authority, Ghana Standards Authority, Food and Drugs Authority. They all convert from boards to authority. They want the authority without the responsibility. It's a dereliction. You want more power, you don't want to be accountable. Everybody says, when you make us a board, nobody respects us. We want an authority to enforce our rules. So all the agencies in Ghana, check it. They all, National Health Insurance Authority, Volta River Authority. Everybody's an authority. But authority without accountability, what is it? So all the things happening in our society, we are not going to improve. We cannot compete with anybody if we are not accountable. And I want to urge Parliament to rise up to the occasion. Parliament is not a place to play out the executive's fantasies. Parliament has 3 functions. He's explained it. There's government check. There's legislative. And there's another one I don't remember. Those 3 things must be taken very seriously. Last point. It's not by force to be an MP. Let's scrutinize the people who go there. Because if you put Sankwas there, you can't have a good government. Sankwas people who can't do, who can't think beyond simplistic levels. No. What I saw yesterday, these are well-trained people who take their work seriously. Don't bring the next Galamsey guy because he has money and say he's going to be your MP. No. Or because the party likes him. He's from the royal family, so he will win. So put him there. No track record of service, no volunteerism, no track record of leadership, no integrity. Just has money to pay delegates to go into parliament. What will he represent there? Leadership is a serious business. Let's not do that to ourselves. Let's read more comments.
More comments are coming in. 0549986 This one says, good morning, Bernard and team. The reason there's accountability in the US is that they put the country first. But here in Ghana, our leaders put party first. A country called Ghana. This one says, good morning, Bernard and co. How do you get someone who was your campaign manager to account? Like the connections. We like the connections too much. This one says, good morning, Bernard and team. If a government official should be put before our parliament for questioning, you find the party in power defending him. Our parliamentarians are rather interested in making laws to benefit themselves. The difference is clear. We see in Klagon. This one says, on the grilling of the Secret Service boss, the last time it was tried in Ghana, all we heard was, "Hey, Ato, I thought you were my friend." Hey, Brian Champo's voice.
And don't forget that this is a former president. You see, what impressed me, this is Donald Trump.
Yep.
He is the prospective Republican nominee. He's a former president, and he is a Republican. All right? So, like the equivalent of a Mahama, has a security issue. And the fact that Secret Service is to answer questions as to why they didn't protect a former president. Yeah. In Ghana, if you're in power, you have everything. If you're in opposition, you have nothing. Yeah. I'm telling you, that's the way I would say, because they have the sense to know that this guy is a former president.
And he's a potential president again.
And once you've been president before.
Do you understand? And we sit here and
for
us, national security is regime security. The number of things we do that undermine national security. We allow unemployment. We create government scams that rip the people off. People don't have work to do. We have all these crazy scandals. And we think that national security is making sure a government stays in office. Go and listen to what Francis Poku said last 3 weeks. 1st July, he said national security is not regime security. National security is dealing with the things that can dislocate a system. You get me? So, that's how I say it. Because look, they were angry that these people allowed a 20-year-old guy to be within 150 yards. So maybe 130 meters of a former president they call it at his 3 o'clock, means on his right side. And he says if the man was a bit taller,
he would have,
because the bullet would have hit his chest. Yeah. He would have died. And they will ask him, how many bullets were there? He could answer. Every question they asked, she was evading. And they were incandescent. These are people who take their society seriously and they want accountability. We must demand accountability from our leaders and stop cheering them on because they come to our local churches.
Now, let me just make a quick comment. You see, every congressman in the US, right, has a serious system around him or her. If you enter the secretariat of a congressman or congresswoman, it is akin to a whole ministerial office here in Ghana. But the people there, they are not sitting down idling. They have researchers. They are those dealing with national security. They are those dealing with issues of the economy. They are those dealing with diplomatic issues. So what's happening on the international scene? They are those dealing with what's happening at the UN level. What's happening in the constituency? What concerns are there? Somebody is coordinating the feelings on the ground and relating that directly to the member of parliament. So Nathan, your job is issues concerning national security. Every morning when you come to the office, you write a brief, 1 page, which sits on the desk of the member of parliament. So you go, you brief him. Oh, on so and so, this thing happened in Kenya. So and so number of people died, blah, blah, blah. It is related to the U.S. interest in this particular way. Questions are asked. You have briefed, your time is done. So you are gone. You, Caleb, your job is to deal with matters having to do with how pollution is happening in the honorable member's constituency. So you come. Oh, this particular factory is doing ABCD, polluting this water body. The people are not happy. About 2,000 jobs will be affected. You have given your brief and you have explained everything. If there's a question that she will ask you and tell you that, oh, go back and research this and that and that. And you come back.
There's a whole organization.
There's a whole organization. So that engine room prepares you going onto the floor of Congress, or you are going to a committee sitting, to know exactly what you are talking. You know where the issues are. You are directly briefed on what is happening. In our case, we have research.
But they still have office now.
They do.
I see one or two posts in there.
They do, but are we using it for the right purpose? So you have research assistants. What do they do? Tomorrow, the honorable member says I should go and buy food for him. Or, some other person in the office says, I should go and do this and that. Or I should go and pay this person's school fees and all of that. That was not the purpose for which President Mills insisted that these people should get, research assistants. That was not the purpose. The purpose was to help you as a member of parliament to better understand your job and prepare every time. Before you go onto the floor of parliament, you know what the leading issue in Ghana is. And you raise it accordingly. Because constantly you are being briefed by people who know their job, masters holding students. So they are not coming to sit down on TikTok, Facebook, and basically watching movies.
So in addition to the quality of MPs, you're talking about having well-functioning offices around these MPs to make sure that they have higher quality discourse in Parliament. But Sky, there's also the law of the lead, right? If the person is not good enough, you can put anything around the person. It's not going to work. So we need to have both.
That's true.
I think the political parties themselves have to understand the importance of Parliament, because some of the characters who get on the ballot, honestly,
they should have no business being there.
Sky, even the basic questions that look, the person has a file.
Yes.
And the file, no, the questions are numbered.
Yes.
Caleb, it was like a journalist going to do eyewitness news.
Yes.
And they had just 3 minutes to ask their questions. So they were able to put in a lot of questions with the premise and things. Charlie, it was like like a lawyer going to do cross-examination. I mean, no. Look, Ghana, we need to wake up quickly. We need to wake up quickly.
But Bernard, isn't this telling? For example, if you reflect on the vetting of ministerial nominees, and you're looking at the ministers and ministries we are complaining about, take sanitation. Reflect on all the ministers we've had in that field, and remind yourself of the quality of their grilling.
The vetting.
Some of the most abysmal ones we have seen are the places we almost complain about on this show.
And then also the way the people on the government side
shields them.
They don't want the people to...
Some of them didn't last up to 5 minutes. People who are coming to man serious portfolios that affect our lives. And then they just go and say, oh, he's a member of parliament, he's one of us.
But you see why... and
the next thing they are gone.
But you see why we should separate... For me, I think
the executive
I think one of the worst things we've done is to choose half of the ministers from parliament.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Because you see, MPs should be feared. Me, if parliament invites me, I should be shaking. Because number one, you have sworn an oath. If I lie, I'm ending up in prison. Do you understand? Number two, these people are the people's reps. So when they speak for the people. All right. It shouldn't be a stepping stone for executive power. Parliament is very powerful. It shouldn't be a position for the MP is higher than deputy minister in my view, equal to minister, because he has a constituency of 60,000 people whose voice must be heard in the chamber. So how you take half of them and say, do you know what the minister's work is? Coordinating policy. Ministers are giving speeches. They are traveling. I mean, how do you combine that with MP? We've created this system, and we have to find a way. I think we have to find a way of, if you want to do one thing, that to unclog, because you see, I think the quality of our democracy depends on the quality of parliament. That's how I simplify it, because there's no democracy without a parliament. All right? So if you want your democracy to improve, unshackle parliament, get better quality people there who want to be career legislators, right? Who are happy to be, look, I saw a woman there. I can bet you she's almost 85 years old.
Yep.
Yes. Republican from some place. And the question she asked, her voice was shaking, but she asked it. You get it? Because she's not looking for minister post. And she's not afraid of the executive. Her job, when you come to Congress, there's a power there. And they respect the rules. Here, people are lobbying for minister who is only MP. He didn't get anything. They didn't give us somebody. So when they said that he didn't get some, our people didn't get anything. He's from voter. Let's give him 2. Let's give him. You see, it's pathetic. It's honestly pathetic. And you know, I think the best person to save parliament is parliament. They know. They
don't want to accept that authority.
They need to. Parliament is very crucial to a country. The UK, the government is formed from parliament too. They don't even have presidential elections in UK. In UK, they have parliamentary elections across the country, and they choose somebody to be the leader, and it still works. Parliament can govern the country. You can choose from among the MPs. The Bible said, choose it from among yourselves. So you can say MPs who have won the majority, choose from among the MPs the people who will be. Because presidential elections has been costing us so much money. You get it? So we shouldn't let Parliament. And for me, if our democracy will improve, accountability must improve. And if accountability must improve, Parliament must be strong. Because Parliament will hold the executive in check. And Parliament cannot hold an executive in check when Parliament is either subservient or a stepping stone. The executive
But Parliament will only be made stronger if or when political parties understand the weight and value of Parliament. Now that will then go into how they choose people or how they decide on who should be a parliamentary candidate. Of course, we can talk about the minimum requirements, be 40 and over, be a Ghanaian, blah, blah, blah. But I feel that if the political parties truly understand the value and the position of Parliament in our democracy, it will then start to filter out the people who they will choose. It will no longer be a money game. It will be, how competent is this person when it comes to lawmaking? can this person properly represent his people when he gets to Parliament? Can this person go there and ensure that the right thing is done? But that will require political parties now coming to a point of understanding that we cannot be the be-all and end-all. We are just tools and weapons in this whole grand thing called democracy, and we should ensure that the people we send there understand what they are going to do and understand that the ultimate winner is not them or what they will get, but the ultimate winner is the Ghanaian who votes for them.
100%. 8:55, see the breakfast show. More comments. So we started off by talking about sanitation, but we've diverted a bit into the role of Parliament. But the theme is accountability. A democracy cannot function without accountability. So there's the legislative accountability, and there's also social accountability. So accounting to Parliament or to the people through Parliament, and then accounting through the mediums, which is like media. All of these are very important. We'll read some of your comments, and we are saying that one of the reasons why government is frustrated with sanitation is there's no accountability. And we must grapple with the question of accountability very, very seriously. Leaders must be accountable. They must be held responsible for their failures.
So let me tell you something. Yesterday I went somewhere to have breakfast, yeah? So when I finished, I ordered something and I was waiting for it. Then a big LPG gas tanker pulls up. And in an urban environment, right? Where there's a kitchen somewhere and
starts dispensing
all
gas.
kinds of. Then this guy decides to, he has a way. He pressed the gas thing, right?
Yeah.
And then he was coming up
For what?
like that.
For display?
I don't know why he was doing that. When
In a built-up area with a lot of
people, they are doing construction work. Somebody is welding something. And then his supervisor, some guy from probably outside the country, because if you look at him, clearly not from here, was standing there with him. And then they were doing the thing, and then he was using his mobile phone to film it. Then when he continued for about a minute, then I shouted, "Now what kind of foolish thing are you doing in the middle of, forgive my words, in the middle of so many people in the city where all kinds of things
just
are
one
happening?"
spark.
Yeah, that's right. One spark.
We are all dead.
I'm in there, many other people in, because there's a kitchen nearby.
With fire.
With fire, somebody welding something.
Hey, and the guy is displaying gas.
So you see, somebody would have said that, oh, this one doesn't concern me.
Hey.
So let me leave. So when I shouted, and I told one of the waitresses that go and stop that. So when he eventually stopped, I drove my car, to the guy, and I told him that you are an irresponsible tanker driver.
Very much so.
What you are doing endangers not only your life, the life of your supervisor, and almost everybody and every property in this country.
There are some numbers at the back, and call the office.
All of that. And that the next time you try that foolishness, I'll cause you arrest.
Thank you, sir.
You should never, ever make that draw.
Never.
Or the now.
You
say, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because he thinks you're a big man.
No.
Because of you speak your English too. So he even thought you were a minister.
Esquire.
And I drove away.
Sometimes being a big man is good.
You see, that is the level of.
No, he won't do it again. After what Sky did to you,
he won't do it again.
You threatened him.
I told him that.
But you see, the point you are making is also about collective responsibility. People sitting there watching.
Yeah, you took action.
Sometimes people just need. But for me, I think the key word for today is accountability.
Yeah.
The woman will be sacked because he was not accountable to the American people. If something like this happens under your watch, and here we don't have a culture of accountability, resigning. It happened under my watch, I take responsibility, I'm sorry. And I'm sorry is not just to get off the hook. I'm sorry means I'm sorry enough to relinquish the position for somebody else to do it for a fresh start. We don't have that culture. For us, we dig in. We want to stay because the post is tied to the rest of our life.
No, they say to resign and go and eat what?
Well, are you in the post to eat?
That's what they say.
You're talking about resignation. Let me read you something from my very good friends, the Japanese. Two top executives at Japanese drug maker Kobayashi Pharmaceutical are stepping down as an investigation continues into 80 deaths that could be linked to some of its products. The company says President Akihiro Kobayashi and Chairman Kazumasa Kobayashi, both members of the firm's founding family, have resigned. The decision was made to clarify executive responsibility over the issue involving its Benikoji fermented rice products, the Kobayashi Pharmaceutical Company said. So, you see, in a place where they understand what responsibility means and they understand honor and respect for oneself and the society, 80 people have died because of their products. 2 people have resigned because they understand that it's dishonorable. I have disrespected my office and I have failed the people.
It takes us 100 years to do it. If you have a leader who starts implementing it within his space, people will take it. You Ghanaians learn quick.
7,000 people die on the road reportedly.
7,600.
Yeah. Nobody is accountable.
Nobody's accountable. If you read the newspapers, we report this problem and we report the leaders blaming the people for the problem. And the people also blame the leaders. Nobody takes responsibility for anything. So a society that cannot take responsibility, there's no way we're going to. Before that, here are some more comments.
A country where a few months to elections, the PC passes away and the wife automatically becomes the next PC for election. What quality should we expect at Parliament? You didn't add your name. I mean, during the grilling exercise, words such as "you disgust me" were used. Can those words be used on our head of national security? We have a long way to go, man. Have a blessed day, Ben, Caleb, Nathan, Rich, etc. Girlfriend Felix from the Wenya Center through. Bernard, the closest we have come to what you described from the U.S. Congress was when Henry Quartey told the MCs he would ensure their removal. He would see to their removal if they fail to keep the municipalities clean. Why was he removed? Is that a signal that the appointing authority is not interested in getting the job done against doing what they think is politically correct for his party? Jonathan Agbeshi Botre from Kaswa Sender through. Bernard, who said we have parliamentarians in this country? We don't. What we have are party representatives in parliament. Ghanaian MPs don't really know what their jobs are. They're just, okay. Scatter. Scatter is not happy. Scatter is scattering things. Good morning, Bernard and team. Our parliamentarians should not even be voted on partisan basis. And the appointment of 50% of ministers from parliament must end now. That's the only way parliament can be effective to check the executive. Ellie from Amrahia send that through.
I have a few more on my personal line. I'm going to read some. Good morning, Bernard and team. I think it's about time we took a critical look at recycling and waste sorting from our source programs. Our culture of piling all kinds of waste together is not very good. We could start with plastics and polythene sorting at home, biodegradable waste like plantain peels and leftover food as compost for gardening. That's from Kofi. And then another one coming in. It says, Ben, over here in Italy, every community has 4 rubbish trucks, and they have a database that includes all the residents living in that community. When you commit a minor crime, such as road offense or petty offense, the court may sentence you to community labor. As part of your sentence, you will have to wake up early in the morning and either pick up rubbish in the community by yourself or be driven by a community self-officer to do so until your sentence is complete. I had my sentence last 2 years. Ghana is not ready for development. This is DJ Nature. In Ghana, the rule is we rise to the level of our incompetence. We have a local government minister and a sanitation minister, yet we cannot keep our cities clean. No accountability here. When something happens, their party colleagues come and say, oh, he or she is a human being. We make mistakes. Can you imagine? More comments coming through on the subject of sanitation, leadership, accountability, the role of parliament in a democracy, and all of those. 054-998-6996. I just want to read a few more, and then we will jump into your final comments.
Yes, please.
Bernard, if they don't have money to weed, they should use community sentencing in court and get offenders to weed there. This is from David. Zongo Junction to Firestone Median and Side Road is now a forest. It should not cost to weed, but the assembly will hire a company to hire the laborers to weed, so it gets more expensive. Bernard, please, your prisoners, what are they doing? Can't they help Ascona from Ebenezer down Dansoman? An effective sanitation program should have 3 components, namely education and cleaning, collection and enforcement of the laws. We are doing none of the three and have left Accra to become a big dump site. It's sad, but Accra is filthy and the leaders have given up. Another one says, leadership is the problem, and I mean leadership at all levels, but the buck stops with the overall leader who makes the appointment. If all appointments are partisan and friendship-based, what do you expect? Bernard, I heard you commenting on the grilling of the U.S. Secret Service Director by House Committee. I watched the session too and was very impressed with the conduct of the hearing, the detailed questioning, and the members' persistent efforts to uncover the truth. Compared to our proceedings, it's clear we have a long way to go.